Jazz is important for us because it's a medium of expression. It allows one to learn about oneself. And what we need, through learning about oneself, you get a sense of value and a sense of affirmation about who you are.
I fell in love with the music of South African's probably most famous jazz composer, Abdul Ibrahim, and we got him to come to Milton Academy in the second week of school, 1991. It was the second week of Kellner too, so there was just a lot of excitement. And he walked into a morning concert that my jazz students were playing for the lower school, K through 8. And then he heard our students playing his compositions. And I was told he had tears in his eyes. He ran up to the stage and said, "You have to come to South Africa." That's how this all got started. It's pretty amazing. So that's how it got started in '92. We went, and that was before apartheid was abolished, so that was very exciting and thrilling. And that was the end of it, I thought. And then some students in the late '90s said, "Could we go to South Africa?" And I said, "Well, I guess so. That's okay." So in 1998 we went back, and then this kid said, "Well, can we go?" So then we went in 2001, and now we're in a rotation where we have gone every other year. And there's certainly interest, I believe, in continuing that. There's no guarantee that we'll ever go back again, just because it's a monumental trip to launch. Coming off the winter term in Milton Academy, the doldrums of February and March, and you know, all the hard work that goes into it, and you get on an airplane, you're so exhausted, you know, and you have this long flight and you're jet lagged, you can't do anything. I mean, and so what we do is we go to a game reserve right away, because the best time to see game is really early in the morning, like at 5 o'clock in the morning. And if you're jet lagged, you don't know what time it is, so it doesn't matter that it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
It's chasing the hyena. Yeah. Oh, nature. Oh, run, hyena! Yeah, there are like 7 of them. They're little kids too.
plays host to another giant in the music fraternity. Let us give the tutors, chaperones and students of the Milton Academy from Boston, Massachusetts, a rapturous, notable welcome. Thank you, boys and girls. To some of us in America,
practice in our little room in Kellner, and that's sort of fun and all, but then to sort of bring it to this big audience and sort of see something as sort of moving as that, to see all those kids sort of getting up and dancing, and that was, I think, really powerful experience on the street. There were a lot of kids there, so just filling cramped classrooms, stuff that at Milton we sort of take for granted, pencils, books, paper, supplies that we have in abundance, that it seemed pretty clear that they were desperately lacking. And that was sort of just a very stark contrast to what our sort of daily life is like at Milton.
We also deliver donated materials. And I'm very proud that we delivered over $135,000 retail value worth of donated materials to schools in South Africa. This last trip, we brought over 10 flutes, 10 clarinets, 6 saxophones, 4 trumpets, 3 trombones. And it's not just music books, it's which music books. Here's a catalog of Alfred Publishing, Jamie Aebersold Publishing, Share Music. Tell us which specific items you need.
I think it's really great to have Milton, because what happens is that you always need role models in the world. And what it does is that Milton allows one to break the barriers between students who've had an advantaged background and students who have a disadvantaged background, to show them that the music and jazz is not about who you are and how much money or how wealthy you are. It's about the music, and the music is the leveling of the playing field, where all forces are equal.
We start playing music for each other and then with each other, and it seems like all the differences melt away, and it's just such an amazing learning experience for everybody.
And I think it's nice for our students to see the interaction with your students and your learners, to see how they've interacted and they've overcome the difficulties that you've had in your history. It's nice for students to have an idea as to what would be possible here in South African music. They need to see that, because talking about it is one thing, but when they see it in action, I think that's far more important.
Our cup runneth over. Definitely. Boys and girls, one last round of applause for the Milton Academy.
You know, because we've been so many times, 9 times with students, and I've been 3 other times without students, you know, it really is like a second home for me, and many Milton students have gone 2, some even 3 times on the tour. And we've evolved an itinerary that really works well. We've got dear friends in Pretoria and Johannesburg, and you know, those are must, especially Johnny Mekwa's Music Academy of Gauteng. And Soweto offers this amazing experience. There's an apartheid museum which is so excellent. Just the videos and the way it's laid out, the museum, it's really profound. And going into Soweto and seeing where Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu had a house, the only street in the world where 2 Nobel Peace Prize winners lived, and learning about Hector Peterson, a young boy who was died in observing a protest. He wasn't even protesting.
Formal settlement. Soweto is divided into different categories, different areas. We have the upper class, we have the lower class, middle class, and very poor. There is no electricity here, but they do have clean water. But these people, they don't lose hope because they are on the waiting list, waiting for their houses. Our government started the program in 1996 to build the low-cost houses. But they are trying. I'm not saying they're not trying. They are trying to change the lives of the people.
Some of the middle of the trip has changed. We used to go to Durban because Darius Brubeck, Dave Brubeck's son, who was the pioneer of jazz education in South Africa, when he was teaching there, we'd always go there. And now we go to Pietermaritzburg, which is near there, and we have some township experiences there that are great. And we've made some new friends at a prep school, not unlike Milton, Hilton College, which is a high school. And we have a homestay there with Rotary Club families, which is really powerful. And then in Cape Town, it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and there's no shortage of things to do there. We go to Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned, and that's a really powerful experience for students to see the actual cell that Nelson Mandela and his comrades, and the tour guides are former prisoners. So, you know, they're not telling you about what happened to other people, they're telling you about what they experienced directly. So it's just a great experience. And then there's the Cape Town, the waterfront area, where we've actually gotten to play the last couple of years and magnify the Quincy Market times 3 or 4.
think we also grow socially a lot too. There are 26 kids on the trip, and I think going into the trip I was like on kind of close speaking terms with less than half of them. And I think that especially given on this tour the wide range of kids, we have 6 freshmen, which is unusual. Usually there's 1 or 2 underclassmen, and this time it's almost balanced between under and upperclassmen. And so the social dynamic, playing in concerts, how a lot of the underclassmen were put in a lot of the upperclassmen groups kind of at the last minute putting stuff together, and so a lot of the tour is getting to know them not only as people but as musicians, and then all the downtime in the hotels and the staying with people at homestays that you may not have known so well before, and on time on the bus and all that stuff. I think that that's kind of a cool way we grow socially, because there are a lot of people, like I said, that I would not have talked to before. Very cool thing to be on very cllose speaking terms with a lot of the younger kids, and know that they're comfortable coming up to me and just talking to me, not feeling like I'm intimidating them as an upperclassman or that.
applause for the Milton Academy Big Band. This is the Milton Academy Big-ish Band.
There are certain really fun things that happen. For instance, we played at a club that was on the 3rd floor of a building, and it's run by a minister, and on Friday nights he's a pretty good singer, and he has his group plays, and we open for them. Tune by Hugh Masekela, Bring Back Nelson Mandela. And this Sifo Busi walked in. They came up to us and said, "Don't let the students end the song, keep it going." So I said, "Okay," and so why? He said, "He's calling Hugh Masekela on the phone." And so our students got to play a Hugh Masekela composition while Hugh Masekela listened on a cell phone.
To other units that will come and execute the operation of disarming that your neighbor who happens to be a member of the security forces. It could happen during the process of disarming that person will be executed.
The exchange and opportunities to go in the townships for me is the highlight of the trips, where students who are often extremely poor have very few, almost no resources, and they connect with our Milton Academy students who are extremely blessed.
I think it's sort of challenging for me to see that things haven't really changed that much, and I know like they have improved a bit, and with the housing project there's definitely more houses that were built, and there's a lot of improvement, but it still seems like the country still needs a lot of help, and so it's just a little challenging to see that and not really be able to do something.
Went to the housing projects and sort of gained a general sort of limited view of sort of what this great problem, and I think sort of on Center Street we don't necessarily see the sort of large-scale problems that the world faces. There are billions of people who live in great poverty compared to the relative affluence that we sort of see in Massachusetts. But sort of going to South Africa, seeing sort of the desperate need of a lot of people is a really, really powerful experience.
I remember when we traveled inside the shack, one of the shacks that was being used, and just not only the tightness of the space, but the squalor of the shack, and multiple people had to live. That there were as many as 10 people living in an area that's probably just smaller than this room. It's one thing to see those sort of conditions on TV, documentaries like on Discovery or TLC. It's another thing to actually go in and to feel it.
On March 21st, which is Human Rights Day, the Amy Beale Foundation has if Milton Academy is in town, they have a township jazz festival, and they bring in people into a public gathering space, an arena in the township, and they feature local acts and Milton Academy. And if we're not in Cape Town, they don't have this event. So, I mean, for a high school to be the driving force behind a jazz festival in South Africa, I mean, how amazingly fortunate and honored we are to be part of that.
And then I purposely left Bob and Milton Academy Jazz to last because they are such special partners. And you guys and ladies are really very, very special to us, and it means a lot to us when you come out here and work with us. So I want you to give Milton Academy Jazz A huge round of applause all the way from Boston.
And you know, when we go in and play, especially when we play South African music for township audiences, it's just such a way to connect.
That music brings us together. It brings out humanity, and music connects us all together.
It's amazing. You probably documented this on film, like even by mistake. Was the spirit that the people here had. They have just so much spirit and energy when they play and when they listen as well, and so I think that's really remarkable. Even if they don't have much, they still express that happiness.
I love that a lot of times we'll come back to the hotel and students will come up to me and say, how come people have so much less than we do or happier than we are? I love when that happens because it really challenges students to think about their lives and what is it that makes someone happy?
Even though there's a lot of upsetting things and a lot of poverty and stuff here, it's good to also, I think, show the other side of it, which is encompassed by the people, I think.
My favorite part is when we get to have jam sessions, when we play for South African students, they play for us, and then we just all jam. And that's where really the music is just this common denominator that unites people.
I feel like the whole music piece is just a language that we could really kind of speak without needing to worry so much about the words specifically. Because I feel like, you know, I can't really speak Zulu or Afrikaans. Sometimes they can't really speak English that well either. But you know, there's like an emotion in music that everyone can kind of feel without needing to explain it in their own like spoken language. So.
To a posh hotel like our students do, or you may go home to a corrugated shack in a township. But when you're playing music, you're just having fun and you're sharing this form of communication. So for me, witnessing our students experiencing that and having a role in facilitating that is just so powerful.